There we go. Tied at 10, not anymore. This time, ratified is down. Here in double O2. We'll go at it again inside. Tampa Bay Gators are going to crash hole 19.
Time is happening in the Carolina since 2000.
Welcome, CDL fans. It is time for yet another edition of CDL Live. Miku the Crash Cat in tow with us here on this March 28th game day. She's just so lovable sometimes. But the Crash Cat indeed here with us for this March 28th game day. We got some great action going on. But before getting to that first game that we got for you, the New York Empire and the Carolina Wildcats. Carolina starting to heat up a little bit. Yeah, I wonder if they can keep any of that momentum going here today in our opening feature match. But first, we move on to the Development League. Get a look at these games here. Anaheim with the 15-0 win over Alaska. Then Oakland with the 15-5 win over Vancouver. Then we had Calgary 15-10 over Utah. Montreal getting a big win over Rochester, 15-5 final there. Syracuse dropping one in overtime to Orlando. Kind of an upset there. 20-15 final, Orlando getting the win. Toronto with the win over Richmond, 15-5. Oklahoma City in a tie with Cincinnati today, 15-15 final there. Mexico City pulling off a big win over Winnipeg, 15-5 the final on that one. And Kansas City defeating Little Rock by the final of 15-5. Edmonton, Baltimore, and Memphis all had the bye today. So moving on back. March 28th. Just make sure, yeah, okay. Yep, but March 28th, yeah, I gotta check the dates sometimes. March 28th, game day here about to take place. On to the pro games. We got a good lineup for you. New York and Carolina, obviously, and then our mid-feature classic rivalry, and it's always kind of a treat when these two teams hit the field. San Diego Lightning and the Phoenix Firebirds, 20th anniversary of the Car Demolition League, and two of the league's original rivals going head-to-head. And then in our main event, it's a Northern Division showdown as we will get the Pittsburgh Destroyers home against the Dayton Rebels. Pittsburgh kind of been the kingpins of the Northern Division for the past half-decade. And the Dayton Rebels, kind of this up-and-coming team that's starting to really show a lot of promise. As a matter of fact, leading the division coming into this game day. But keep in mind, folks, Pittsburgh just 3 points behind Dayton for the lead in the Northern Division. And just to think in between them in second place in the North is Cleveland, just 1 point behind Dayton. And Cleveland, unfortunately for them, has a bye today, so they can't capitalize on if maybe Pittsburgh were to get a win to take the lead. Cleveland and Minnesota actually on the bye today, so lots of entertainment coming up for you, and of course highlights from all over the league from the other games that are happening. 20 games going on today, so that being said, let's get you down to the field for the first one. New York Empire, Carolina Wildcats. We get to see Black Bullet 2 go up against possibly head-to-head matchup with the number 2 pick of the draft from 2016, the rookie Wen. Let's get down to the field. Alright, yes, you got your welcome, and here we are on the March 28th game day here on CDL Live, and smashing things off here today. Kind of an unusual one here. Carolina Wildcats. Haven't seen them much on the show other than highlights, but yes, we have the Carolina Wildcats here today, home against the New York Empire. Carolina, of course, there with Wen at the captain spot, and he, of course, is the number 2 overall pick of the draft, just this past draft. And please excuse my indigestion along the way here, folks. I'm sure there's medication they might want to sponsor me for that, give me some, what is it, Prevacid? Anyway. Moving on, New York Empire, though, on the road to take on the Carolina Wildcats, and obviously the New York Empire have to be heavily favored coming into this game day when you think about it. Their record, 8 wins, 4 losses, 3 ties, no overtime losses, puts them at 30 points on the standings right now, which currently, yes, it's 4th place in the Northeast Division, but overall, they sit 6th place in the Eastern Conference and got a pretty good get. They got a 5-point lead over 7th seed Cleveland, and they look to, what do you call it, they look to widen that lead here today. So Carolina, on the other hand, been an up and down season, but really it started really with a downslope, but it seems to have been getting a little bit better as of late. They just couldn't find a way to beat Atlanta in that last game day, so kind of like their Achilles heel whenever they play Atlanta, apparently. But Carolina, 5 wins, 7 losses, no ties, 2 overtime losses coming into this game day, so not looking too hot, but still nonetheless with 17 points, that's good enough for 3rd place in the Southeast Division, believe it or not. Sitting just 2 points behind 2nd place Tampa Bay there, but when you take a big look at the whole wild card picture and the playoff picture, Carolina sitting distant, far back in 16th place. Matters of fact, a 3-way tie really for 15th if you count Carolina, Hartford, and Detroit all there with 17 points apiece. So, of course, Hartford holds the tiebreaker on Carolina. But nonetheless, Carolina trying to get into gear. Just to think, though, folks, they sit just 2 games of a playoff spot coming into this game day, the Wildcats do. Shows how close things are when you take a look at the overall scheme of things with the playoff races, both East and Western Conference. Pretty darn close right now for those final few playoff spots. So let's get on with the game here. New York Empire, Carolina Wildcats. Definitely looking forward to if we have a captain versus captain match, because we could have the franchise Black Bullet 2 out there for the Empire against the number 2 overall pick of this past year's draft when coming out from Carolina's captain spot. So could be something special if it goes that route. That being said, let's get a look at the whole lineups. Empire, Wildcats.
Empty and made, got you feeling like a champion. The city never sleeps, ready to slip you an ambient.
Alright, here we go, folks. Enzo 1 leading the way for the Empire, and Dragon Jr. out there first for Carolina. And Dragon Jr. made that one look pretty, somehow, some way able to stay up. And then Enzo 1 returning the favor. Both cars going at pretty good offensive chances, and that time Enzo 1 able to capitalize because of the flip. So it's 5-0. Empire in the lead. That brings out Mellow 51. Heavyweight from the Carolina side almost went down there. Switching sides here, and this time Enzo 1 has Mellow 51 down. So it's a 10-0 game. Enzo 1 on point today. But now takes on the defense of Wen. And now Wen able to roll back up off screen. My goodness, folks, I wish I had extra cameras to pan out that way, because that was pretty off screen. Wen able to roll back up, and he keeps the Wildcats in the game. It's a 10-5 game that brings out challenge for the New York Empire. He could get the win with the flip here. Solid smash mouth heavyweight and an interference. Wen saves himself. Veteran maneuver, actually running into Black Bullet 2, could be sending a message. But nonetheless, the battle continues. This time no interference. Wen again staying up. And this time no interference. So switch sides. And what a move by Wen. Able to hang on here in this game, but he's got to generate some offense. He has been on the defensive, kind of back up against the ropes here in this game so far, at least with challenge. And this time challenge, all of his offensive effort paying off. The chances finally come through. 15-5 the final score here in our opening game. Didn't get the matchup I was looking forward to, but nonetheless, challenge able to seal the deal. 15-5. What an excellent game by Enzo 1. Getting that 2-1 day and really getting that team off to a good start. Getting New York that 10-0 start and actually 10-5 start. But point set match. It set up challenge just perfectly. And challenge That style of offense he has is a heavy-hitting offensive style, and the rookie Wen just not able to handle it. So going to be going on ahead and getting into some of the highlights from more action that's happening here in the league on this March 28th game day, and then we'll get to our middle feature. At least that's what I call it, the second game out of our 3 features, and that would be a battle between 2 of the CDL's original 6 teams. The San Diego Lightning and the Phoenix Firebirds, longtime rivals in the Western Conference. 2 teams, a lot of bad blood between each other, if you will, and not in the same division anymore. Kind of unfortunate that is, but nonetheless, always very entertaining when the 2 go head-to-head. As a matter of fact, I remember it was about, not last year, but the year before, I believe it was. 2014 that the 2 met in the first round of the playoffs, and it went a full 7 games. It was either 2 years ago or 3 years ago, but needless to say, it was a very entertaining series when those 2 hooked up in the first round. Yes, it was 2 years ago. And, of course, San Diego, I believe San Diego won that series. I can't really remember, folks, but nonetheless, it went 7 games. That much I do know. Actually, it might have been Phoenix to win, but nonetheless, let's take a look at where these 2 teams stand now. Well, Carolina, with them losing, they go to 5-8, 0-2. New York goes to 9-4, 3-0. That puts them up to 33 points. And at the end of this game day, that could have them in the 4th seed if Gowanda and Buffalo lose. But that being said, who they got next? New York's next game going to be home against the Minnesota Maniacs. Minnesota will be coming off the bye week. And as for the Carolina Wildcats, you'll be able to catch them on the highlight reel as well as New York there. But Carolina going to be home against Brandon's San Jose Storm. And that's on the March 30th game day. So, but yes, moving on along, folks. Stay tuned. Plenty more action coming. We got some highlights coming up next. All right, so we just saw that matchup between New York and Carolina, and the Empire handling business, 15-5, getting the win over the Wildcats. And now we move on to that first set of highlights, and then after that, our mid-feature is coming up, Lightning and Firebirds. So let's get a look at these highlights, and stay tuned. Starting off the first highlight reel with the Boston Vandals and Atlanta Avengers, and the Avengers sending Super out there first against Blue Dragon 2. So these 2 will go at it, and Supra able to get the flip 5-0 Atlanta. They are going for their 3rd win of the season, so close there to an interference, as it was Supra out there against Nitro. Supra going down there, close to an interference, but there was none, tied at 5. And now matchup moving on along, Clown close to an interference yet again. Clown goes down here, flying over his teammates. I don't know if you could really get a good look there. It went and happened fast. And then 40 comes out. He gets set down. Nitro goes 3-0 from the middleman spot. 15-5, the final score. The Boston Vandals getting the win over the Atlanta Avengers. So, yes, that was Nitro making up for that last game. Remember that injury he took and the timeout that cost Boston the game. Made up for it. Moving on to a Northern Division showdown between the Milwaukee Mob and the Detroit Devils. It was Cloud Cutter out there getting pushed around by Hot Tub Jr. a little bit, but Cloud Cutter fighting back somewhat here. So we get another look at this one. Cloud Cutter, he believes he can fly, and he can land very well too. Able to stay up and in the game, and then right after that gets the flip on Hot Tub Jr. 5-0 Devils in the lead. So now the Mob with Monty Jr. out there on the field, and this was pretty entertaining. Some lodging going on there. The grills stuck together, getting pulled apart, and right after that, Monty Jr. able to tie the game up at 5. Now he goes head-to-head with Black Dragon. These 2 go at it quickly. Getting taken down was Black Dragon. Monty Jr. at 2-0, now going for the win. Padawan out there for Detroit, trying to tie the game back up. After being up 5-0, well, yeah, they were able to tie the game back up. So all even at 10, that brought out the jumping bean of a car, and that is a good flip there by that car. That's Cartman getting the flip on Padawan, and now Black 3 trying to force overtime for Detroit. A 15-10 lead for Milwaukee, and that would be the final score. Cartman getting the job done there at the end. Final score, 15-10, the Mob getting the win over the Devils. So we keep it on in the Eastern Conference, heavily favored Philadelphia Demons on the road against the Miami Mafia, but it was Neon making the impact first in this game. Getting the flip on Pink Indy, 5-0 Miami. Green Demon now out there. He stayed up off screen, switched sides here. Got the flip on Neon just like that. We were tied at 5. So the Demons, yes, they are a threat no matter what the score is. Green Demon now out there against Monkey from the Miami side. These two continuing to go at it. A good little battle between the two. Of course, Monkey with the weight advantage, but the defensive skill, that acrobatic side of Green Demon, getting the flip right there. Take a look at this in slow motion. Monkey will go down, and what a save by Green Demon, able to keep himself in the game. 10-5 Demons in the lead and make it a 15-5 win. A 3-0 day for the rookie Green Demon. He went the number 3 overall pick of the draft, as a matter of fact. 10 guys are training to get him. You can see why he was willing to give up Hammer and Sonic Boom to the Gowanda Outlaws in order to pick him up. 3-0 day, 15-5. Demons getting the win over the Mafia. So out to the Western Conference for a Central Division showdown. The St. Louis Twisters on the road looking for an upset. Didn't look good at the beginning. Rowdy going down at the hands of Monkey Ball, but that brought out Silver Indy, and yes, he was on point today. Takes down Monkey Ball real quick. Takes down R real quick. It's a 10-5 game. Twisters in the lead, and they're the underdog, making it look easy. But Highlight out there. Do not underestimate Highlight. Take a look at this move. Beautiful. Able to break dance and stay alive at the same time somehow, some way. But this time goes down and deep fry me a Twinkie. We have an upset. The St. Louis Twisters going and just dominating this game, all thanks to Silver Indy. 3-0 day for him, 15-5 the final. The Twisters getting the win over the Wind Attack. Back to the Eastern Conference we go for the matchup between the Gowanda Outlaws and Puerto Rico Players, and Lamborghini for the Outlaws. Making the impact right away, as we see out there against Black Star. Right away takes him down, 5-0 Gowanda. And now taking on Solar Reflex. Solar Reflex taken down almost as quick, 10-0 Gowanda. That brought out Black Lena from the captain's spot. It's a 10-5 game. So now Sonic Boom out there. He gets taken down. And Black Lena on the roll. He's 2-0 now going out there against Hammer. The game tied at 10 apiece. So now Hammer and Black Lena. What just happened? Yes, Hammer down that quick. Brought out Cockroach for the Outlaws. Puerto Rico now in the lead, 15-10. So Cockroach trying to tie things up here. And good battle between these two. It was a close matchup. Good spin maneuver right there by Black Lena. And again, some good survival tactics by both cars. But in the end, Black Lena getting the job done, goes 4-0. It's a captain's day is what we call it here in the Car Demolition League. A 4-0 day for a captain, or a perfect game. And Black Lena just had one of those here on this game day. 15-10 the final. Puerto Rico Plays getting the win over the Gowanda Outlaws. And on to a game that became an instant classic. Nevada Thunder, Dallas Lone Stars. One heck of a matchup. Gray Indy out there against Yellow Spider, starting this game off in a good matchup between the two. Both of them able to stay up. Look at this move. That is Yellow Spider able to stay up there somehow. Great defensive maneuvering really by both cars. But their battle would continue here, and it would eventually come to its end. Yellow Spider down. 5-0. Dallas in the lead, quickly tied up by White Indy of the Thunder. So now White Indy and Watts up going at it. And what a pretty move by Watts up, getting the flip. Dallas now in the lead, 10-5. Look at Watts up here. Yet again, able to get the flip and stay up somehow. Good acrobatic maneuvering. Now takes on the 2015 Rookie of the Year, Hornet, in his second season here. And having a good battle with Watts up right here, and gets the flip on Watts up. So tied at 10 now. Hornet out against the car that could be the Rookie of the Year this year. Well, there's a lot of competition for that spot. We've seen Green Demon compete, but look at that nice move. That is indeed Reptile in the fight here, and able to get a tie with Hornet. So all knotted at 15. Grasshopper out there for the Thunder. Purple 300 ZX out there for the Lone Stars. It is overtime, and these two putting on a solid show against each other. And but in the end, it would be over right there. Good flip for Grasshopper. Nevada Thunder getting the win in overtime, 20-15, the final score. But what a match! Like I said, instant classic. Back to the Eastern Conference we go. The New Jersey Bandits and the Jacksonville Bangums going head-to-head here. Zap and Kid Custom leading this game off. And after a couple of collisions, Kid Custom would go down 5-0 Jacksonville. Zap now out there against Pink Lamborghini. Has them in the weight department. But in the end, both cars going down. So a 1-0-1 day for Zap. Not bad. 10-5 lead, but that brought out New Jersey's Power Pistons, the number 1 overall pick of the draft. He ties the game up right there. Testarossa going down. Brings out Black Spectite for Jacksonville. And these two would battle it out. Not too bad of a battle, but in the end, Power Pistons too much for Black Spectite. 15-10 the score. And Power Pistons and RDO6 Jr. both going down there. RDO6 Jr. trying to force overtime, and this time does. Able to dance his way back up. Who saw this one coming? Power Pistons going down, but an excellent move by RDO6 Jr., who would now face off against 686 in overtime. So tied at 15 in OT, and off screen right there, 686 is indeed down. The Jacksonville Bangums hanging on to get the win. 20-15 the final score. They defeat the New Jersey Bandits in overtime. And a 2-0 day for their 5-point gainer, RDO6 Jr. And I think we got room for one more instant classic before that mid-feature. It was Gold Z28 out there for the Reapers against RDO2 from the Idaho side. Both cars were down. We had a 5-5 game. MX Strakester out there against Blue Indy now, and MX Strakester would get the flip, putting Idaho up 10-5. Now out there against Phoenix. And Phoenix off screen, staying up in the process, tying the game up at 10. So Phoenix versus Governor here, and this would be a good one right here. These two cars putting on a show. Two lightweight defensive cars, and yes, in slow-mo. Do a barrel roll. Governor able to stay up, and the matchup would continue between these two cars. Both from the captain's spot, and you can see why. Hard to take down, and of course, that 15-point mark is what you want to defend, but Phoenix getting the better hand of it. Now out there against 42nd of the Idaho side. So trying to get the win here and almost going down, but what a move by Phoenix yet again, able to stay up. Breakdance, mama, put him in a K-pop video and deep fry me a Twinkie while you're at it. This time though, Phoenix would be down off screen. So 42nd, forcing overtime, where he would go head to head with Dark Knight. So into OT, tied at 15. Both these cars going head to head here, and a good show being put on by the both of them too. But in the end, 42nd, just too much for Dark Knight to handle. Had to be the weight advantage right there, no doubt about it. Good game day for 42nd. He goes 2-0, and the Idaho Cowboys get the win in overtime, 20-15, over their division rivals, the Indianapolis Reapers. All right, back from that first set of highlights, and we are just about ready to hit the field here. San Diego Lightning, Phoenix Firebirds, longtime rivals, set to go head-to-head. This should be a fun one to watch. Just 2 years ago, if I remember correctly, San Diego and Phoenix meeting up in the first round of the playoffs, Firebird and Lightning. And my goodness, what a series. Went 7 games. I believe it was San Diego actually winning the series that year too. So, but a fun series to say nonetheless. So we should be most certainly in for a treat here. Lightning, Firebirds. Let's get down to the field. And back down to the field we go. The next game about to take place here on our March 28th game day. We've got the San Diego Lightning on the road to take on the Phoenix Firebirds. Two teams been in the league since the league's inception in '97. Heated rivals, no longer in the same division, but still both teams with a lot to play for. San Diego with 21 points coming into this game day with a record here of 7 wins, 8 losses, no ties or OT losses. They currently sit in 16th place, but there's only 4 points separating them from the 8th seed in the Western Conference, that last playoff spot holder at the moment, the Phoenix Firebirds. Phoenix, 25 points on the season, 8 wins, 5 losses, no ties, 1 overtime loss. So, both these teams getting set to go head-to-head. Should be an entertaining game. Both teams pretty well evenly matched. Having said, let's get a look at the lineup. San Diego Lightning, Phoenix Firebirds. first two cars now coming out. It is the rookie hot goat out there for the San Diego side. Green Arrow, longtime veteran out there for the Phoenix side. And an interference right off of the first collision. So they will go at it yet again. This time, no interference about it. And hot goat is down. Green Arrow getting the good flip. 5-0 Firebirds in the lead. Brings out Dirty Snow for the Lightning. And good collision there. Both cars going to switch sides here on this one. And this time around, both Green Arrow and Dirty Snow down, so make the score 10-5. Phoenix in the lead, and now they have Mika looking to put things away. 24 hours out there for San Diego. They need this defense to be in top form here. Both cars down. We got a 15-10 game. Phoenix keeping that lead, but 24 hours doing a good job, at least giving 7 Series a chance from the 5-point gainer spot. They'll be looking to force overtime out there against Stock 34. Good defensive car from that Phoenix side. 7 Series, he's a smash mouth, kind of a heavyweight car, and almost had a flip there. Roll over, and well, 7 Series could not follow suit. The Phoenix Firebirds are going to get the win. 15-10, the final score is 7 Series goes down. 15-10 ended up being the final. No overtime here on this one. Phoenix getting a big win that's going to help them hang on to a playoff spot here in the meantime. But keep in mind, folks, lots of season left to go. Going to have more highlights coming up for you momentarily. But let's take a look at where this puts these teams. Phoenix now 9-5-0-1. That's going to put them at 28 points on the season. San Diego, a tough loss for them to take. They fall to 7-9. So they will remain at the 21-point mark. Quite a few teams behind them, too, capable of passing them. We know St. Louis will. Minnesota with the bye, they don't have to worry about them, but hey, New Mexico, Seattle had a chance to rival. Seattle lost. So anyways, but puts them in a rough spot. They ain't going to get no higher than 16, let's put it that way. But looking at their next games, the Phoenix Firebirds be out there on the March 30th game day. They are going to be on the road against the Detroit Devils, looking to carry on their winning ways here. And the San Diego Lightning will be looking to get back on the right track. Cross-conference battle for them on the road against the Tampa Bay Lightning, current defending Eastern Conference champions. Of course, you wouldn't know it by looking at their record this year. They have been struggling, but you'll see their highlights against the Buffalo Warriors. They go head-to-head today, so you'll get to see their highlights in the highlight reel. And then afterwards, the main event for this game day, the Dayton Rebels on the road against the Pittsburgh Destroyers. Epic battle. Could end up deciding the leader in the Northern Division. That division very tight right now, only 3 points separating Pittsburgh, who's in 3rd place in that division, and Dayton, who's currently in 1st. So, yeah, let's get that highlight reel rolling, and we'll be back with the main event here on CDL Live.
And did I not say that that was going to be a good one? Usually is when you have rivals like that going at it. In most sports it is. CDL, in this case, it was no different. A 15-10 game. Phoenix getting the upper hand in this round. Unfortunate thing with San Diego coming into this game day in 16th place. I know a lot of season left, but could be the only time we see them play all season long, since they're not division rivals anymore like they used to be in the old days of the Southwest Division. Don't even have that anymore in the pros now. That being said, we are going to move along. More highlights from the rest of this March 28th game date, but we are missing one. The Los Angeles-New Orleans game, and I feel bad about this one, but camera took a crap on us, said it ran out of memory or whatever, so, technical errors. But anyhow, but it was really a great game, and I really feel bad about it, quite frankly. It's one that I would have showcased in the main event, if anything, no doubt, on any other game day, if I'd been picked all the main events and stuff in advance. But 20-15, the New Orleans Gladiators getting the upset win over the Blades in overtime. So let me go on ahead and just put that one out there before getting to the second highlight reel. So, but yeah, that being said, still plenty of other highlights to look at. And then we'll be on to our main event. Dayton Rebels, Pittsburgh Destroyers. Stay tuned, it's all coming up on CDL Live. Well, folks, moving on to the second highlight reel, and the video does get choppy at this point, so I do apologize for that, but out there right now, it is Mantis out there against F1 Racer. F1 Racer would be down 5-0 Seattle in the lead here in this matchup. And against Roswell. Dragonfly now out there for the Aliens. He would tie things up, and that would set up this matchup. Dragonfly against Darkwing. Two identical models. Of course, Darkwing, he's been stripped down a little bit. Some injuries in his career, but these two would put on an entertaining show. And as you can see, both cars staying up here. And again, apologizing for the choppiness, but it was an entertaining battle between these two, showing you as much as I kind of it to a point, make up for a little bit, but needless to say, it would come to an end right there. Darkwing going down, brought out Buzz off. And you can see we get a couple of moments of brilliance from our camera here, which did end up going out on us here in that matchup, but needless to say, good survival technique by Dragonfly here. I hope it gets it in slow-mo, and sure enough, kind of does. See that little barrel roll that he did, and that time takes down Buzz off, and that would end the game. 15-5, the final score. The Roswell Aliens getting the win over the Seattle Lumberjacks. Big win for them, 15-5, the final score. 3-0 day, as a matter of fact, for Dragonfly. So we move on to a divisional matchup here. Central Division, Denver Mustangs and the Nashville Nighthawks. No Fear making his presence felt in this game right away as he takes on Purple Custo, getting the flip on him right there. We'll move on to take on Teardrop. These two would go at it. Nice little battle between the both of them. But eventually, Teardrop would be down. 10-0. No Fear at 2-0 now has to take on Red Detta. So at 2-0 going for the win, it was No Fear. And out there against Red Detta, and Red Detta, too much for him, too good defensively. Now taking on Orange Chevelle and set him right down. So Red Detta starting off a game day 2-0, and now out there against Extinguish, and Extinguish making this quick and look easy. Look at this, and making it look pretty on top of it. Getting the flip on Red Detta, and what a beautiful move. Things moving along quickly. 15-10 Nashville now. Just to think it was 10-0, but needless to say, game continuing, but not much longer, as you're going to see Blue 512 going down right there, the unflippable one, Extinguish. He was a beast today, going 2-0 and getting his Nashville Nighthawks to win, and believe it or not, now in first place in the Western Conference, and securing that spot with the win here today. So moving on to a Northern Division battle in the Eastern Conference, Green Bay Dragons, Bradford Brawlers, and Inquisitor leaving his mark on the game immediately. Takes down Escalade 5-0 Dragons, and it gets a little skippy here in the video, but Uncle Sam is down 10-0, and right there it's going to be 10-5, because that was Spinebuster, even though you couldn't really see it, getting the flip on Inquisitor. So the rookie down, and that brings out Shell for the Dragons, looking to finish off what Inquisitor started, and a good battle would ensue between him and Spinebuster, who's trying to keep the Brawlers in the game here. See some good collisions, some good survival tactics. Spinebuster good defensively out there against such an offensive power, and offense wins out today. Shell getting the flip, point, set, match. Inquisitor almost like Yun to Rice, while Inquisitor to Shell, handing off the opportunity. Dragons get the job done. 15-5, they get the win over the Bradford Brawlers. Moving back to the west, the Portland Panthers and the New Mexico Monsters going head-to-head. Purple Fire would be leading the way for the Panthers and making an impact on this game. And I know we've got a little bit of a skip here in all these videos because the video file is messed up, but it was quickly 10-0. You just saw the two flips there that let that happen. But then out came Futurama for the New Mexico Monsters, making defense look pretty, and even getting the flip out of it here as he took down Purple Fire down, but somehow able to roll back up. Futurama still in this game now, taking on Monty, still finding ways to survive, making defense look pretty. Just a master of defensive skill in today's game. Tied at 10, and then quickly taking down who there. 15-10, New Mexico on the comeback. They got the lead now, and right there they would have the win off screen. Futurama staying up, and the New Mexico Monsters, the 6-8 New Mexico Monsters, getting the win over the 7-2, 2-4 Portland Panthers, giving them their third regulation loss of the season, and New Mexico now just one game under the 500 mark. 4-0 day for Futurama. Another Captain's Day here.
We move on back to the Eastern Conference. Hartford homies, Washington Patriots. Redemption out there first for the homies, and for the leaders of the Southeast Division, the Patriots. Landlord out there. And a good battle between these two to start this game off. Two good offensive cars, and both of them were able to stay low to the ground, which is where you want to be if you're a CDL car, quite frankly. Battle carrying on. Very entertaining one, but in the end here, you're going to see Redemption getting the flip on Landlord, 5-0 homies in the lead. Brings out Black Phantom for the Washington Patriots, and he was on point today, immediately tying the game up, takes down Redemption, and almost as quick is going to be able to work his way through 46 Jr. here. Taking him down, Patriots in the 10-5 lead. That would bring out Indy 5 for the Hartford homies, and after a few collisions, he would have the game tied up at 10. Now out there against Ratitude, and Ratitude able to get the flip right there, giving Washington back the lead. 15-10 the score, now going for the win out there against Silver and Black Attack Jr. And a good fight going on between these two, and Ratitude definitely the favorite car, better at defense, but he is taken down right there at the hands of Silver and Black Attack Jr., who forces overtime. Now goes head-to-head with Red Ferrari Jr., tied at 15 in OT. And on the very first collision, Silver and Black Attack Jr. on point right there. Great day for him. He goes 2-0, and the Hartford homies get the win over the Washington Patriots, 20-15 in overtime. Yeah, I wonder if Tampa Bay would be able to capitalize, but that being said, yes, show his pitcher. Great day for Silver and Black Attack Jr. Back to the west now. San Jose Storm, San Antonio Kings. We go back and forth here. Charizard, though, he would be on point today. A beast today. Taking down RPG right away, 5-0. It was San Jose in the lead. And not long after that, he would have a flip, and just making sure right there. Just tipping over Sweet 16. 10-0 Storm in the lead. And that led to this epic battle between Charizard and Motoblade Jr. Both cars going at it. Such an epic fight that these guys had. And just fun to watch. And I'm just really going to apologize that the video is so choppy, but you can see some of the maneuvers being pulled off by Charizard. Look at that. Do a barrel roll. Do another one. Get another one of those in slow motion right here. Get the... Re-look at it, I guess. Whatever you want to call it. Replay it. But needless to say, a great battle. We could have had a lot of candidates on that replay list, but needless to say, both these cars put on such a great show, and yet again able to pop back up with Charizard somehow, some way, able to stay in this fight, and did so for a long time. But in the end, it would be Motoblade Jr. getting the flip. So Motoblade Jr., after using a lot of that effort, does keep San Antonio in the game, but now has to take on Wasp. But maybe Wasp won't be as hard to flip. Think again. Yeah, Wasp, pretty good defensively in this game as well. And yes, R. Kelly behind the wheel. Can we please get that one in slow-mo? Because Wasp certainly believes he can fly and he can land even better. Able to keep in the game here, trying to go for the win, and he will get it right here. Bam, done. Point, set, match, a good combination. Charizard fighting hard for the 2-1, and maybe taking a little bit of something out of Motoblade Jr. It was a very, very long battle, and maybe it took its toll, and Wasp able to close the deal. 15-5, Storm getting the win over the Kings. Buffalo Warriors trying to hang on to 5th place in the East, and Tampa Bay trying to close the gap on Washington, and off to a good start. Ratified taking down Inferno, but wouldn't take long for this one to come up here. That was Tyrell and his offense, just too much for Ratified to handle, but now enter 47 Ronin for the Gators. Game tied at 5, wouldn't last long that way, as Tyrell would be taken down, and that would bring out what for the Buffalo Warriors, trying to tie the game up or keep Buffalo in it here. But the MVP of 2015, as you're going to see, does his thing. What? Not able to roll back up there, and that would end the game. A 2-0 day for 47 Ronin, getting the job done, and the Gators closing the gap on the Washington Patriots. It was 8 points coming into this game day. Well, now it's down to 5, just 2 games behind the Patriots now for the lead in the Southeast Division. Good win for the Gators. And back to the West here, San Francisco Shinobis, Houston Oilers, two strong teams out of the West. F3 taking down Nickel and Diamond right away, 5-0 San Francisco, but the favor was returned by White Ferrari here, as you will see. He takes down F3, but that brought out Black Bullet 1 for the San Francisco Shinobis, and man, did he go to work, taking down White Ferrari rather quickly and taking down Racer X, what seemed to be even quicker, 15-5. And we just saw the 2015 MVP, but there's a car right there. Definitely wants to throw his name into the hat for 2016 MVP. He played like one today. Black Bullet 1 goes 2-0 and gets the job done quickly. 15-5 the final. Shinobi's getting the win over the Oilers. And this, folks, you are going to see the point where the video cut out. Los Angeles Blades and the New Orleans Gladiators, they were getting ready to go head-to-head and being emptied out of their team-designated bag. But, you know, in the end, that's where the camera cut out. And unfortunately, we did not get to see what was a classic matchup. Epic game. New Orleans getting the win over Los Angeles in overtime, 20-15 the final. So, a big game there and a tough loss for LA, their second in a row. I know, don't I look impartial right now? Anyhows, but needless to say, it should be a great game. The Dayton Rebels and the Pittsburgh Destroyers set to go head-to-head. And if you're wondering why Pittsburgh has the same color scheme as, well, the Penguins or the Steelers, it's because their team owner, Gregory Fox, happens to be a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So, now you know. That's why they... You know, originally I drew it up as kind of black, silver, and purple. Kind of like a little purple trim, but mostly black and silver. But Gregory Fox just really molded in his own image that he wanted. And that was the Steelers. So that being said, anyhow. So yeah, basically the whole Pittsburgh Destroyers, it's a homage, if you will, kind of in a way, to the Steelers. And I feel Gregory's kind of done a good job with that by winning the Crash Bowl with them back in 2011. But that being said, the new kids on the block, the Dayton Rebels, they've been playing well as of late, and they have won the Northern Division title once back in 2008. But ever since then, primarily, it has been the Pittsburgh Destroyers that have dominated that division. It's kind of been a little dance between them and Bradford. And needless to say, Pittsburgh's been getting the upper hand. But now, like I said, Dayton, they're the new guys on the block, kind of running things, and Pittsburgh 3 points behind them for that division lead. So let's go on ahead and get down the field. Major implications here, kind of heading towards that halfway mark of the season. But yeah, big game. Dayton, Pittsburgh, Rebels, Destroyers, to the field, folks. Welcome back, CDL fans. Hope you enjoyed all the highlights. Well, I do have to apologize, though. I'm pretty sure I did an intro to this. You noticed one highlight missing out. It was the New Orleans-Los Angeles game. It was the only one that is missing. But the Gladiators went over the Blades in overtime. Really an epic game and a good strategy played out by New Orleans. And it got the Gladiators the win. They played Golden Red at their 5-point gainer spot. And needless to say, I really wish I could have had it for you, but I can't actually go back and redo it. You know, the game is done. So, unfortunately, we had a memory space issue, so trying to create space, I thought I had enough stuff to leave, but apparently not. So, but nonetheless, moving on along, got our main event here. We got the Dayton Rebels on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Destroyers, and folks, the Northern Division pretty much on the line right here. I would say kind of like first place. But the only thing is Dayton 8-4-0-2 right now. Pittsburgh 7-6-1-0. With that being said, because even if Pittsburgh did win, they would actually have more regulation losses than Dayton. Dayton would still keep the lead in the division, but Pittsburgh would be tied for the division lead, and they would pass Cleveland for an official second place in the division. And, of course, Cleveland on a bye here on this game base. But a critical game between these two Northern Division rivals, the Dayton Rebels and the Pittsburgh Destroyers. Pittsburgh also, keep in mind, currently sits 8th seed in the Eastern Conference with 23 points to their credit. A win today is crucial. It would put them up into the 7th seed. Something to keep in mind since Boston was able to get a win today to surpass that 23-point mark. So huge game for the Destroyers here today, really a must-win. And for Dayton as well, because they want to widen the gap on Pittsburgh, try to get to their first division crown since the 2008 season, which was their very first season in the league, as a matter of fact. So Dayton Rebels, Pittsburgh Destroyers, it's our main event, folks. Let's go on ahead and get a look at the lineups. Alright, the first two cars coming on out to the field. It'll be Elray out there for the Dayton Rebels, and for the Pittsburgh Destroyers, it is going to be What Jr. out there. And What Jr. staying up somehow. They'll switch sides here. Good clean collision. Two cars going in, and What Jr. again able to stay up, and this time What Jr. with a good flip. 5-0. Destroyers in the lead. It brings out Zapper for the Dayton Rebels, and Zapper ties things up at 5 right away. And that now brings out Yellow Custom for the Destroyers. And Yellow Custom's down. 10-5, Dayton in the lead. And Pittsburgh's been taking some beatings lately. They just lost 15, let me see here. They lost 15-5 to Pittsburgh, and then the game, or 15-5 to Philadelphia. Then the game day before lost 15-0 at the hands of Green Bay. Destroyers on a downward slope, and now depending on Green Blaze to get them back into this game here. Down 10-5. Zapper going for the win for Dayton. Almost had it, and this time around, both cars are down. It's a clean collision and flip on both sides. So Zapper and Green Blaze both down and out of the game. And, pardon me, folks, but yes, 15-10 the score. Rebels in the lead. So they, by doing that, getting that lead, they do guarantee themselves a point here in this game. So they will, at the very least, keep at least 1 point ahead of Pittsburgh. Even if they were losing overtime, but even though I don't think they're trying to do that. Toad trying to go for the win here. Paradox out there from the Pittsburgh 5-point gainer spot trying to force OT. And no interference there. Both cars staying up. And the fight will continue. Both cars again doing a little dance, staying up. And this time there is an interference, but both cars still up anyway. This time around again, both cars yet again staying up. Good defense on both sides. Paradox and Toad. Both of them having a good fight. Almost an interference there, but there was none. Both cars still up anyhow. They continue to go at it. Paradox getting some chances. Almost had him there. So another close one. And Toe somehow, some way, able to exceed. Not that time. It almost rolled back up, but Paradox gets the flip on Toe and forces overtime, which brings out Sub-Zero for the Dayton Rebels. Sub-Zero and Paradox. Game tied at 15 in OT. Pittsburgh and Dayton, the interference right there. Off my knee there. Saves Sub-Zero. They'll go at it again. And this time, Sub-Zero with a good clean flip. No interference about it. Good flip by Sub-Zero, and the Dayton Rebels have the win in overtime over the Pittsburgh Destroyers. And, folks, that one's got to hurt for Pittsburgh, no doubt about it. Fox had Sub-Zero, couldn't steer clear of the interference. Rebels getting the win. Must be coming down with something, folks. My apologies, but nonetheless, Dayton with the win, 20-15, and they will in the Northern Division. And not only that, they will pass Washington for the conference. Washington taking the overtime loss today. So with that being said, Dayton moving to 29 points, moving 1 point ahead of Washington for that second seed.
As for the Pittsburgh Destroyers, a tough loss. They will fall out of the playoff spot. And basically give way to Boston there, actually. And again, folks, pardon me here. For some reason, I don't know why I can't. I got the frog in my throat thing going, but nonetheless. Dayton Rebels, seeing their record now, they go to 9-4, 0-2. Their next game, they will be home against the New Orleans Gladiators, a team that just beat the Blades in overtime. Should be an entertaining one there. It will be on the highlight reel, let's put it that way. But the Pittsburgh Destroyers home against the Dallas Lone Stars on the next game day, the March 30th game day. But what's on the next show, if you're wondering? The March 30th edition of CDL Live, the last March edition of CDL Live. Got some good games that will be coming your way. Nashville Nighthawks, the leaders of the Western Conference, on the road to take on the 10-5, 0-1 Buffalo Warriors. That gets followed up with the up-and-coming Puerto Rico Players, who've been playing well as of late. They've got a couple of wins in a row now. They started the season with a record of 1-8-0-1, if I remember correctly. Yes, 1-8-0-1. Well, they've won 4 straight now, folks. Puerto Rico now 5 straight now, because they are now 6-8-0-1. Puerto Rico home against the Portland Panthers, who fell today to 7-3, 2-4. So Portland and Puerto Rico should be a good one there. And then the 10-5, 0-1 Gowanda Outlaws in the main event, home to take on the Chicago Wind Attack, who today, unfortunately for them, fell to a record of 11-4. So, but nonetheless, Chicago and Gowanda going to be in the March 30th main event. So fun stuff coming up on that March 30th game day, plus other great games going on. But that being said, until next time, folks, take care of yourselves, be yourselves. Peace. James Holtz here. Thank you for watching the Car Demolition League and for being a fan. And yeah, until next time, folks, well, see you.
I love LA. Big Dad, I love LA. California, yes. Still applies to me. Everybody got something to say. I'll take things off. I'll take things off. I'll take things off. I'll take things off. I'll play switches, yeah. Fame came off. And yeah, everything off. Fool what you want. We stay feeling fools. Fool what you want. Your life for you. What you say?